See if I can find him. There we go. There is Gray and Derek, who's always my last connection. Let me see. Get on here. Tonight we got a really amazing show for you. We've got a really cool structure. We're doing a top 10 list. Let's see if we can get everybody up here.
All right, there we go.
There we go. There we go, Derek. I mean, Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. Who else we got? Where is Derek? I don't have a request to join from Derek. Let me see if I can find him. There he is. I can
hear you on Instagram.
Can you hear me, Gray?
Can you hear me on Instagram? I can't hear you on Instagram.
Let me see if Derek.
Why is it breathing?
Plants in desert climates. We can talk about that. Can you guys hear me in the crowd? Can you guys hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Derek?
There we go. The technical gremlins are out there.
I can hear you perfectly. Can you all hear me?
Yes, but I can't hear Gray.
Still can't hear me? I can hear you.
You can hear us, but he can't hear him. So then, Gray, you might have something not connected to the stuff. And while we're connecting, I want you all to keep connecting with us. We are connected here on Instagram and our YouTube. So make sure you're checking us out on all of our YouTubes. We're streaming all of our Instagrams. We are streaming, right? And we want to be able to hear you. So make sure you throw some questions in the comments, right? Okay, you can hear both of us. We love that. We all know audio from Gray. Y'all are catching up. And make sure y'all are sharing this with your people. How are you, Andre?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. I wish that we could get Gray on here, but I am doing great. I had a wonderful weekend, as I would say, as usual. It was very interesting. A lot of stuff went on. But let's see if we can get Gray. Like, I don't know why. I'm trying to see if I can delete him.
Is he still on your screen?
He still is on my screen. I'm trying to see if I can get him off the screen.
Okay. You know, I would hate for us to have to start this over, but sometimes Instagram does crazy things when they're changing the thing.
Okay, he said he's requested up.
Okay, he's pushing some buttons on his end. So this is great. We got Sony's butt spray in there.
He's not off yet. All right,
he's not off yet.
We're going to have to exit out and restart this.
Okay, so that's good. So we're still on YouTube, people. So just go blank and come back.
I'm here on YouTube, but not on Instagram.
This is going to blank and come back.
We're still here.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dirt on Gardening podcast. This
is so weird.
24, I believe. Let's see if we can get our guest on here.
Let's see.
We're looking for Urban Gardening with Gray and the Chocolate Botanist. Tonight we have an amazing show for you. We'll be talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. Let's see. I don't see them on here yet, but I know they're coming. But if you guys get a chance, put all your questions down in the comments. We will be answering all your questions. I don't see any requests up here right now. Let me see if I can.
Andre,
them.
Farmer live. It is not showing me your live. Okay, let's try this again.
Guys, I don't see you guys at all.
Okay, I love being.
Not seeing you guys at all up here.
This is great.
Weird.
There we go. I see Derek. Let's see if I can find Gray. What's the best fruit veggie to grow during the winter? Depending on what your climate is. Here in Florida, most of your greens are going to be the things that we want to grow during the winter. Let's see if we can find Gray. Gray's having a hard time here tonight. Let's see if we
Gray, can you hear me on YouTube?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Are you able to find his live and then just go to it?
I'm there.
Okay, there he is. There he is.
Okay. This is great.
Let's see if we can hear him. Great. All right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like all of the technical gremlins were working against us today.
Listen, that's a win. All right. And that's the end of the show. Thank you guys. All right.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the chocolate.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm excited today because we have a very organized show. We're going to go over the top 10 issues that people face in the garden, right, Gray? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, that's right. That's right. We're going to do a breakdown. We're going to talk about some of the top 10 things that just about every gardener faces, no matter what zone you're in. That's our idea for today. Of course, we're still going to be answering your questions live like we always do. Because weren't you saying somebody had a question about fruit trees to grow in the winter?
Well, before we get into the questions, we need a little bit of nonsense. So, I want to tell you about, I'm going to let you guys talk first. So, Derek.
Did somebody say nonsense?
Yes.
Did somebody say nonsense? Because I'm here for the nonsense.
Derek, tell me a little bit about how was your weekend? Anything interesting happened to you?
So I went to the coast to see my family and do some stuff. It's maddening to me, and I get, progress has to happen, I guess. But to see old forests torn up and chopped down to make way for road expansions is just insane to me. And I wish that wouldn't happen. In addition to, I started some carrot seeds today, some more carrot seeds. My garlics are garlicking. So I'm feeling really good right now. What about you, Gray? What was your weekend up to?
Hey, brother, I did the same thing. I got some garlic bulbs in the ground. I'm really happy about it. Made a video about it. Like, here goes. My son played his football game. And then you guys know that I'm going on a big trip soon. Wednesday, I'm going to be flying out to Bangor, Maine to be working with Epic Gardening. So I am so excited. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Congratulations.
Super
congratulations.
Awesome.
You guys, Gray is being a little bit humble here. He is going to be like one of the presenters, like one of the main people in a big project for Epic Gardening. If you guys don't know about Epic Gardening is like the biggest sort of plant, like video media organization that's sort of in the gardening world right now. And Gray is going to be one of the stars of the up and coming project that they're doing. So it's very impressive. I'm super impressed and proud of Gray. He's bringing the level of the podcast to another level just by being here with us. So
shucks, guys. I'm just old. Gray. That's all. I appreciate you.
He's going to be silver by the time he's done with this because you're going to a whole nother level. Silver now.
He's platinum. He's platinum.
Platinum mine. Andre, what you do this weekend?
All right. So, I know not everybody's into this or whatever, but I did go hunting and I actually was able to harvest a doe and get some meat with my bow. So I have a freezer full of venison right now. I had some venison steak for dinner today. So I'm really happy about that. But I got a little, there's always whenever you post a lot of videos and you have a lot of comments and stuff like that, there's always like one person in the crowd that's going to be a jerk, right? So I did my Monstera video, right? And the Monstera fruit, which you have to wait for it to sort of, the things to come off before you eat it, right? So I did it like 1 week later. All right, now I'm ready to eat this. Someone comments, "You're wearing the same shirt 1 week later?"
Wait, say again? They did what? A shirt?
The shirt. They're complaining that I'm wearing the same clothes that I was wearing a week ago.
So I think we have to tell you all something, and I'm going to be the person to say this. It's okay. I got you, Andre. I'm here for you. Andre has all these acreage of houses, and there's not a washing machine inside. He doesn't have a stitch of washing machines. He owns 3 shirts. They work for Scooby-Doo. He can work for us. Because obviously that's what's happening.
Well, thank you for explaining that. Perfect. Now
I'm here for you.
Yes. Now let me tell you about one thing. I did go to a farmer's market at a nursery, and we were doing the thing, and I saw the biggest Monstera deliciosa plant, but it was a variegated one. Like I don't know ornamental plants, so I didn't know that the Monstera deliciosa came in variegated.
Yes, it's probably a Thai constellation.
Yeah.
No. Wait. Is a Thai constellation a deliciosa?
It's in the Monstera family.
Right. No. But this was a Monstera deliciosa. Variegated.
No, see, because when you're talking, because you have so many different varieties of Monsteras out there, And sometimes people might name them, but the common one is the deliciosa. They also have like Max Burrow Flame, you have the Creme Brulee, you have the Albo. They're all from the same family, but just different cultivations because people cultivate these genetic mutations. That's when you get that variegation, right?
Right.
So you have all these cultivations in there. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, like, this was like I felt like this was the one that was gonna make fruit. Like,
They will all make fruit if the situation is right, if the conditions are right.
Even the variegated ones, because they'll sell the variegated fruits for more.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It was like Monstera, like with the actual holes, like a Monstera deliciosa, like that. Mm-hmm. No, it didn't have leaves like that. It had like the Monstera deliciosa leaves with the holes in them.
Well, as the leaves get larger, they will start to make those fenestrations and get those holes in the leaves too.
Yeah,
because mine has the fenestration, but it's curled up more so because it's kind of cramped where it is.
Right.
So it's not like these are still fenestrations. It's just I got it cramped. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But anyways, I'd never seen it before. I thought it was pretty cool. I saw a bunch of other plants that I didn't like. There was a pink panther, something rhododendron or something. I was like, I wish I had Gray and Derek here. They would know what all these plants are, but I didn't know what them were.
You should have FaceTimed us. We would have jumped on real quick.
I sure would have.
All right. So
I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to our friend Jen is here. So hey, Jen. I know Andre never remembers. Yeah, Jen is here. She could probably tell you about that Monstera.
All right. So we did have a couple of questions real early on there, and maybe we could just address them. Someone said that their rose bushes were looking really terrible after many years of having roses. Their rose bushes look terrible all of a sudden. Do we know anything about roses?
There's a disease. I can't remember the name of. What's the name of the disease, Greg?
Rosetta.
That one.
And it's like an airborne disease. I mean, but first, before we even get to disease, we really can't diagnose just based off of just a description, like they look terrible. Because, I mean, it could be disease, it could be pest, it could be herbicidal drift. There could be multiple varieties of things going on. So I'd say the best avenue of approach in that situation is send us a picture. DM either one of us, send us a picture and explain to us everything that's going on. Your zone, how long you had them, what variety of, not Monstera, but rose they are, so we can truly analyze what's going on. Because I don't want to, we never want to just give you a blanket statement. Oh, this is your problem. No, we have to do our research to give you a right answer.
And DM one of these two guys. DM one of these two guys. Okay. Just to be clear, what he meant by that. He didn't want to say don't DM Andre, but he kind of meant it, right?
All right, so now first, before we go forward, and we'll get another question, the number 10 thing we were talking about, okay, this is for every gardener, is knowing when to plant and when to succession plant. So, Andre, do you do any succession planting? Let's use the fall, for example. I know you've been planting a lot of seeds. Do you do any succession planting?
First of all, define succession planting.
So essentially what we're doing is we're staggering out our planting. Say, for instance, if you want to grow lettuce, right? I know you grow a lot of lettuce. I like lettuce. I like some salads. I'm a pescatarian. I eat a lot of leafy greens. So I will stagger out my planting so that I can continuously get a harvest. So for instance, you're doing like an iceberg lettuce. Well, you only got that one head. After you eat that head, where the rest of them? So you stagger out your planting.
Yeah, you know what? I made a video on that. I didn't know that it was called that. I just called it staggering. I said stagger your plants. But yeah, so I do that with my carrots a lot of times. So if I plant some carrots and they start to like sprout out, then I'll plant some more carrots. Because nobody wants to get like 100 carrots all at once, right? Then you end up just giving them away or wasting them or whatever. So if you can actually stagger them, so you're picking carrots now, and 3 weeks from now you're picking a few more carrots. 3 weeks from then you're picking more carrots. And that's a luxury that we have in our growing zones, but I don't know if everybody has that in their growing zone.
What are your thoughts, Derek? What like when it comes to knowing when to plant, right? Because I know you do a lot of container growing. So how do you know when it's time to plant? Because I saw one of your videos, because believe it or not, I watch you guys' videos all the time. Like, it's so funny.
Aww.
Because now I got to tell you something. I got to share this with everyone. Believe it or not, I actually don't watch a lot of gardening content. because when it comes to gardening, I love to read about my plants. I research my plants by reading about them. That's the way I absorb the information. I'm not visual when it comes to plants. I need to actually read up on it. So, yeah, so I watch a lot of you guys now just because, you know, we're friends. I'm always watching friends content. But you just planted something recently, didn't you, Derek? What did you plant?
I did some sage, some carrots, and some garlic. And I did some more carrots today. And I mean, really, for me, succession planning is typically once the summer is over, I successfully go back into my house because it's too cold. And I plant myself on that couch. But I'm doing something different this year. So I have them growing, and I'm just considering what I can do with the space I have. I'm on a patio, right? I'm growing in a small space. So I am literally thinking about what my small space can take, and then what am I willing to do. And unlike other small space gardeners and other gardeners in general, I often pack my patio down. So I got a lot, so much, like you can't really see it over here, but there's like a pile of bee balm over here that I've harvested today. And I'm just gonna let it dry out and go from there. And again, hope for the best. And then plant some collards. I got some plants to do some cabbage collards too. So yeah.
There you go. Nice. Now see, me now the last part of that question is knowing when to plant, right? And that's a hard thing for a lot of folks. But again, guys, I do a lot of research on this. And I did this whole video based off of knowing what plant is like a long day plant versus a short day plant. This really goes into how much light the plant needs to be able to stop it from bolting. And I don't want to bore you with the science of it because I love the science. But essentially, you know, when it comes to knowing when time to plant, it really can make a difference. Because cilantro, Andre's favorite thing in the entire world, cilantro, you plant it at the wrong season, I mean, it can just completely bolt and get bitter on you. Tell them how much you love cilantro, Andre.
Well, I'm one of those people that have the genetic thing where cilantro tastes soapy to me.
Because it is soap. It is soap. And I agree with you. This is the one thing we agree on. Look at God. We finally agree.
So, and it's not crazy soapy for me. Like I can tolerate things that have cilantro in them, but I just don't. It's just not a value added item for me when I'm eating. So, yeah.
Nice, good. See, I love me some cilantro. Give me some tacos. Give me some cilantro on my eggs. I'll take cilantro. Some Tex-Mex. I'm in Texas, so hey, keep it coming.
If I want to take soap, I'll just lick some Dawn dish soap.
I got you. But like. There are a couple of things you said there that I'm not sure if everyone here following will understand. One of them was bolting. You know, maybe you should tell people what bolting is. Because if you haven't grown a lot of green vegetables or things like that, you might not know what bolting is.
You know what? And you're right. Sometimes we talk about these things and we forget that everybody, you know, may not have that experience. So what bolting is essentially the plant ending its life cycle. Because every plant wants to reproduce. It wants to create genetic, not clones, but it wants to create new iterations of itself. So when it goes to seed too prematurely, it creates this seed, then it's no longer viable. Like for instance, your lettuces and your spinaches or your collards and so forth, they'll get very bitter in the leaves and they won't taste good. And then you have seeds all over the place and, you know, then the plant dies. And you're like, well, why did it die so soon? Because it shortened its life. It thought the next cycle of its life was ready.
So a lot of times if you plant those things in the wrong time of year and there's too much heat or too long a day, then they can bolt.
I think that bolting really can lead us to number 9 then, which is we're protecting these crops because you're protecting them from the heat, you're protecting them from the cold, you're protecting them from pests. So like when you're growing any of your fall crops, Andre, what are you doing to protect your babies?
Well, in the fall, the only thing I really have to protect them from here is pretty much squirrels.
Squirrel.
Yeah, like trust me, when you try growing mangoes, then you will come to really hate a squirrel. But squirrels are the main thing I protect mine from. Like I have a lot of canopy here, so too much sun is never an issue for me. I don't need shade cloth or anything like that. If there was a way to get sun cloth, I would buy sun cloth to get more sun through.
Like that.
But so I don't have to worry about much other than basically the pest, and it's mostly the squirrels for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, out here in Texas, I have that canopy too, but the areas that I grow in that do have sun, I need to protect. And plus, I get not a lot, but I get snow out here in Dallas. Derek, does it snow out there in North Carolina?
Rarely, but it does. More out west than here, but yeah.
Gotcha. So I sometimes have to protect from the snow. Now, on occasion, of course, I have the luxury of having a greenhouse, but this is a greenhouse that I took 2 years to build from recycled portions, recycled parts and stuff like that. But I do have a greenhouse, and some of my tropicals can go in that greenhouse during the winter. But for all those who don't have a greenhouse, this is a cool DIY project I want you guys to consider. And I might actually do a full video on this just to show you how it can be done. If you take some thick plastic, think of like if you're painting a house, right? And you get that real thick 4 mil plastic, that real thick plastic, you can take that plastic and a couple of pieces of maybe 1/2 inch PVC or maybe 1 inch PVC. You can bend that PVC to make your own little hoop house right there on your deck or your balcony. So, and the cool thing now, see, I don't know if you notice about PVC. It's cool. It's not just for plumbing. You can actually take a blow dryer and you can heat up that PVC, and then you can bend it into the shape that you need it to create your own little miniature hoop house. Put that plastic on the outside of using some double-sided tape, and then boom, you can protect your plants from any frost.
Mm.
Yep. And that's something that's easily movable too.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
I had a tree. I had a cacao tree that was right beside my house, and it wasn't a hoop house, but I used the PVC pipe and the plastic to make a little phone booth-like greenhouse that would just sit over it and up against the house. So it had one side open that just fit up against the house, and that's how I kept it protected from the cold.
That's a great idea. I love it. Using what's already there, right? Yeah.
And sometimes all it takes is 2 or 3 degrees difference, and that's the difference between a plant living or a plant dying.
Right, because the main killer, what a lot of people think it's the temperature, it's the frost. The frost is the killer. So if you can protect from that, a lot of these plants can actually handle the temperatures. That's that frost that'll completely kill them over.
Yeah, you block that wind, and you're good. So someone had a question about their cilantro and their parsley. They said they had cilantro and parsley in the same container, and they asked which one has bigger leaves because they're trying to figure out which is which. I would say just taste one. If one tastes like soap, that's the cilantro.
That's going to be a hard one. I mean, because they are so similar. That's like planting squash next to a cucumber, right? When they're at that very beginning stage, you're not going to be able to tell. I'm having the same problem outside. Guys, I'm a bad gardener because I always forget to label everything. And I planted all of my brassicas, my broccoli and my cabbage. Everything's out there in these little seed trays. And they all look exactly the same. So I'm just have to wait to see which is which.
Yeah. But I think that in general, cilantro usually has a little bit bigger, broader leaf than the parsley.
Once they establish themselves. Yeah, once they grow out. That's what I'm saying. Let them grow out a little bit to be able to tell which is which.
I think I can also help here. Hold on. I'm going to try something new.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to try something new.
Right. If we disagree, don't feel alarmed.
Don't freak out. But on YouTube, they can see it, hopefully. But you could be able to see that the parsley is actually bigger leaves. Like cilantro has little almost leaflets, and parsley has a bigger whole leaf. It looks like this. For the person that was asking, if they can see my screen here. It looks like this, where parsley does have a bigger leaf.
We can't see your. Oh,
okay.
Oh yeah, we saw it on Instagram, but we didn't see it on TikTok. Okay.
Yeah. So bingo bongo. That should hopefully help the people.
All right.
So, I mean, like I said, let it grow out a little bit. You'll definitely be able to differentiate once it grows out a little bit. But right now in the seedling stage, it's going to be hard to really differentiate. So, yeah, look out for those signs in the foliage and signs in your leaves.
Someone else asked, does anyone do hydroponic tomatoes? Have you guys ever done hydroponic tomatoes?
I have. And well, tell me your experience first, because I'm going to tell you mine. Go for it.
I did it with one of those little kits. What do they call those things? The little whatever. And AeroGuard. It will outgrow that immediately. Like I had tomatoes growing all over my place.
Yes. See, that's the downfall. I always feel like that's the part they don't tell you, right? So the light only goes up so tall. And so those tomatoes, and especially depending on what type of tomatoes you're growing, if you're doing like an indeterminate that grows all throughout the season, I mean, you got tomatoes coming all over the place. And then the root system, you constantly have to go in and keep trimming. Like, it is a lot of work. It's like not worth it in my opinion. I'm gonna just stick this in a pot and let it go.
Yeah. I think you got to do hydroponics in like a real hydroponic system. The aero garden is not for tomatoes. Like, I think it's more for herbs, maybe a little lettuce, maybe or something. But tomatoes not a great idea in the aero garden.
Yeah, I did some freckles lettuce in my aero garden, and it went great. You know, it was perfect. My kids were able to come and rip some lettuce off right there in the kitchen. That was cool. But anything with a really complex rooting system that's going to really need a lot of space, it's not worth it.
Okay.
You know, that reminds me, because I've grown tomatoes and I've done some tomato experiments before. I love growing tomatoes. Tomatoes are the bomb. And the one thing about those indeterminates that we have to keep in mind, because we need to just, say what the words is, indeterminate just grow and grow and grow, in case y'all don't know. And when they grow and grow and grow, what do you got to do to them? You got to prune them. And when it comes to that pruning, we need to do some retaining. That part, we're doing a ad spot. Retain is what you need to be able to take care of your tools. If you take care of your tools will take care of you. Now, it lubricates, it cleans, it stops rust, and it sanitizes. You can get from the Amazon, the Walmart, and the Retain spray. You go to retainsspray.com. All of you put Retain in the comments. They are a phenomenal sponsor, and this product is phenomenal. It is organic, or natural, I should say, with the oregano oil. And again, when you take care of your tools, they take care of you. Let's keep going.
All right. We got a great question. Sorry, go ahead.
Yo, that's what I was going to talk about. You going to talk about the cilantro and the paper towel?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Well, Jimmy says, could you put cilantro on a wet paper towel to get it to root? And now, yeah, you could, but cilantro germinates actually fairly easy. I would honestly just place it in soil. Some people would say, place it in soil and then only put it like down a 1/4 inch. I say throw it on some soil and then sprinkle some soil right on top of it, get a little water, and it'll grow. I don't think you need to. You might be overcomplicating it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
I agree 100% with that one. And there's another question. How do I know when to trim my mango tree?
That's all you, brother.
I'll take that one because I'm a mango guy. But basically, it depends on, one, if your tree is a seedling or if your tree is a grafted tree. And two, where do you want your canopy to start? Because with a young mango tree, you're building a canopy. So there's a certain height where you want those first branches to come off. And if you have a mango tree that's sort of a stick or is growing vertically instead of out, then you might want to chop that where you want it to start to branch. Because that's the whole purpose of trimming it, is to get it to branch. Because the more terminal ends you have, the more branches you have, the more mangoes you're going to have. Because mangoes produce off the terminal ends.
Yeah. No, that's good information. Yeah. Now, all right, next topic, okay?
Okay.
Too much rain and waterlogging. So I know most of the United States right now, especially down here in Texas, we're about to get in our rainy season. Where October and November, where we're going to start seeing a lot of rains. Then we see a lot of rains in the spring out here in Texas. It's funny because the master gardeners out here in Texas, we always say that Texas is always, or Dallas specifically, is always in a perpetual state of drought with random rain events. So now I know out in Florida, you're getting some rain right now, aren't you?
Listen, this year we have probably gotten triple the amount of rain we've gotten in the last 2 years. Like, it's rained, so I haven't had to water my food forest in like 2 months. It's crazy. It's raining like every day. Yeah, I'm not complaining. It is a little jungle back there right now. It's crazy back there right now.
So now, with that being said, what would you do when you have all this rain going on in your garden? Like, let's look at your raised beds, right? Because unfortunately, Andre, I got to tell you, not everybody has a food forest. We all trying to grow. I'm gonna be like you on Tuesday. I'm trying to grow up. I'm gonna be just like you. But so if we're talking about like our garden, right? What do we do in those situations when we're getting all of those different rains? What can we do? Derek, what are your thoughts? What can we do with our soil to try to help that drainage situation, right?
So, like, if you're doing pots like I am, you can do like an inch or so. They call it like a raised water table, an inch or so of like rocks or like terracotta pots or something where that drainage will increase at the bottom. You could do like, I use playground sand to mix into my soil to increase drainage. right? For those that are in the ground, I just have to really make sure when I'm planning and plotting out for ground planting that I am not in an area that will, again, have that drainage issue. And even with pots, I'm not putting a pot in an area where when the rain drips off the roof, it's just going straight into this pot over and over and over again, and it's going to lead to me having some issues.
Yeah, because we get into a dangerous situation. That's when you start getting into your root rot and stuff like that. Now, Andre, you were telling us last week about this new soil that actually would work very well in this situation, this mineral soil. Tell us about it.
It would. Well, even before, there's a couple things I want to say about that, because a lot of times when you have things in the ground already, it's way too late to really make a soil adjustment, right? So, when you are planting trees, for example, one of the things you always want to do is never have them be too sunken. You want them to be a little bit high. I like my trees to be planted high and tight. So basically, I want them to be on a little bit of an upslope. There can be sort of a little, area around it where water can collect. But where the trunk is, I want that to be sort of on a bit of a mound. So it's never really going to pool directly on those roots. Two, you should be when you're planning where to plant your things, you got to look at the topography of your land, because where water runs, where water pools, and where areas where there's dry spots. So if you can sort of plan those things in advance, then when you have a bunch of rain, like your trees that can't really take wet feet, they're not going to be in places where they're going to get soaked for a long period of time. So those are things you can do to prepare. But the whole mineral soil thing is, I ran into a guy who has a ton of fruit trees in pots. And he told me that he bare roots all of his trees when he buys them. He takes them out, washes the roots clean, and repots them in a mineral mix instead of the regular potting mix. And I went and watched some videos that he told me to watch of some other gardeners that do this. And the argument was that these pots are usually filled with very dense organic matter. And it becomes a situation where there's very little airflow. There's no oxygen down there. Everything gets compressed over time. And initially it's fine in there, but over time, trees may struggle being in a pot situation. And the solution for that, in their opinion, is a mineral-based soil where there's only about 30% organic matter, and the rest is like rocks, sand, gravel, just a lot of things that are going to allow for drainage, perlite. And I like it. The mix feels really cool. And I noticed one thing, that water does take a little while to get through it, but much more of the water ultimately comes out of it than comes out of potting soil.
Yes. See that part right there. And see, that's why I've always leaned towards a sandy loam when it comes to most of my plants, because nothing likes to just sit, unless we're talking about like a pitcher plant or something that sits down in a bog or a swamp. Most plants don't like being in an anaerobic situation, sitting in all that water. So that actually leads us to our next point, right? Derek, I think this one is really you, because you could explain this one. Blight and fungal disease, right? So we're talking about all this rain, all of this water that breeds the perfect condition for disease. So if we're talking about fungal disease, what are some things we can do when we get to those situations? What are your thoughts, man?
So you need somebody's fungicide. Before you even get a fungicide, you need to identify what this disease, this fungus, this blight, this issue is, because it can be any series of things that could be treated by any series of actual chemicals, right? And I know chemicals can sometimes make us fearful and scared, but you do not have to be. So identify it. You can go to your local cooperative extension office. You say, hey, I got this disease. One of the extension agents or the master gardeners will get you set up real good. Okay, Gray is my favorite master gardener. So he's the one, because the rest of them got a feud with me. We're not going to talk about that. Then you can figure that out. Now, the next part is you can get a fungicide. You can go to a big box stores, but in some cases using like peroxide or baking soda, you can make a fungicide. I typically don't talk about this because I'm sure I'm on a list for the amount of 33% peroxide I have in this house. I'm not going to tell you what list I'm on, but when you have peroxide and fertilizer, you should never buy a bunch of those at once because you get on a list. So, with that being said, I use 33% peroxide, and I will dilute it down to 10% or 15% and use it to sanitize my soils. For those that are outdoors, I'll get a fungicide. I will buy a fungicide, some type of copper-based solution in most cases, and use that to treat my plants. And again, I could use baking soda to shift the pH drastically while keeping in mind I need to be careful not to impact my plant negatively either.
Yeah, very, very good point. Thank you. And you know what? I just want to say, since we're talking about rain, since we're talking about fungus and everything that comes with it, one thing I always want you guys to remember, what comes with rain? Mosquitoes. So make sure you definitely get you some Sonia's bug spray. Yes, that's right. It's time for another one of our sponsors, one of our great, great sponsors, Sonia's bug spray. I love this spray. Sonia's mosquito spray is what I have because I have a creek behind my house, guys, and I'm telling you, I am constantly getting bombarded with the amount of dragonflies and mosquitoes I have. I love my dragonflies because they eat the mosquitoes. But as soon as I walk out in their garden, the mosquitoes are all over me unless I have my mosquito spray, my Sonia's bug spray on because it works fantastic. It feels like a lotion. You know, I'm one of those guys. I don't like to wear a lot of different things. I don't wear a lot of colognes and stuff like that. I'm an all natural guy. I don't want y'all to think I stink though. Hold on, let me say. But with my Sonia's bug spray on, it feels fantastic on my skin. It's great for those bites, to prevent for bites. And then it's also, hey, I forgot to put it on. It's great for after bites too. So make sure you pick up some Sonia's bug spray. It is available at soniasbugspray.com. Also on the TikTok shop. Is Sonia bug spray on Amazon? Is she on Amazon yet?
I'm not sure if she's on Amazon yet. But you can look on Amazon for Sonia's bug spray. If you see it there, get it. If you don't see it there, go to her website.
Go and
100%
check
organic.
out. So we got a couple of questions in here. One person was asking, is it okay you got all these mushrooms coming up to pull them? You can definitely keep doing that. But as much as you keep pulling them, unless you treat the soil with a fungicide, you're going to just keep getting them coming. In most cases, unless the fungi are in a place where you're worried about children, pets, or somebody eating them, in most cases, I just say leave them be. They don't hurt anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's a sign of healthy soil too, if you see mushrooms growing. But I went to the Memphis Mushroom Festival a few years back, and I was actually one of the speakers there. That was like my introduction to mushrooms. And I also learned it's something like 90-something% of them. It's only something like 5% of mushrooms are actually poisonous.
See, and I don't know enough about mushrooms, so maybe I need to go to that class because I always feel bad when people are like, hey, Gray, what kind of mushrooms? I don't know mushrooms like that. I know they're fungi. And I'm a fun guy, but I don't know enough about fungi.
There's a book I could suggest to you, but it was probably outdated. But if you check your local cooperative extension offices, you can probably find the information on mushrooms local to you and be able to go from there.
Yeah. And also you're on social media. Like you can go on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and just post a picture of a mushroom, say, what's this? And there'll be a million wrong answers, but there will also be some right answers eventually.
Yeah. Just make sure if you're going to eat it, get a local person to tell you, because poisonous, same with plants. God is amazingly funny. The poison lookalike grows right next to the edible one in most cases. And it is the wildest thing. Same with fungi. So just be careful.
Someone asked if their soil's wet, would it be good to add new soil to kind of help it dry out? I don't think soil would be the solution. I think if your soil stays constantly wet, then I would be trying to add things that help it drain as opposed to just more soil. So, whether it's perlite or sand or something that allows it to drain more would probably be a better option than.
Well, Andre, I think it actually goes back to something you said before. One, you have to see where that water is coming from, right? So if you're getting a situation where the rain is always draining down to that one spot and pooling right there, you need to first look at that problem first and maybe divert that water. And then, piggybacking off of what you were saying before, then add some see what kind of soil you have. I mean, if you got a lot of clay in that soil, of course, that water ain't going anywhere. It's just going to sit there, Clay is actually one of the things they use to seal up a pond or something because those molecules are so tight together. that water is not really going to pass through it. So you may have to add in some organic matter or some gypsum or something like that.
And also, if you have those really wet spots in your yard, you can sort of treat them by planting things that love water. Like you could put a cypress tree, you could put bananas, sugarcane, bamboo, things that will really just soak up and suck up a lot of water and don't mind being those spots. And a lot of times people put those trees in a really soggy, wet part of their yard to actually dry the yard up a little bit.
Jimmy said something along the lines of,
He's not able to follow his son.
I didn't know they had a limit of followers. I've never heard that before.
Going on.
There's a limit?
Because she doesn't even have that many following. Jimmy hit me up after, and we'll see if we can work this out. But I want you all to look at Sonia's bug spray, and we're going to go from there. But it's amazing you're talking about soil, because you know, when it comes to like these top 10 issues that the people are going through when it comes to having garden frustrations, soil is a big one. And I mean, whether you're growing in core or peat or anything in between or anything outside of that, you will have some trouble. So like, Gray, can you tell us about your soil, mindset? What you be thinking? What you be doing?
How do you enhance your soil?
Somebody in the comments said I look like a black Indiana Jones. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Okie dokie, indeed.
When it comes to enhancing my soil, I feed my soil. I compost a lot. I love composting, but there are ways to composting. Not all composts are the same. Making sure that I'm putting in a lot of my carbon in there. I'm making sure that I'm feeding in my greens, like my vegetation or my cuttings, my disease-free cuttings. That's important. Don't just put any old cuttings in there. Like if it's disease, discard it, throw that away. Putting that stuff in there. And yes, I know the group is going to disagree with me, but yes, I still compost my eggshells because I'm using them for structure. I'm not trying to compost eggshells for carbon, not carbon, calcium, that word, because I know it's going to take about 10 years for that to break down, but it actually applies a lot of soil structure. Remember we were talking about those ways to create drainage, right? Crunched up eggshells can help you create drainage because it's larger than the particles of the soil. So that's why I'll use that like in a compost. So I'm using a lot of what I already have. What about you guys?
Well, and also the thing about the eggshells too is like, you're still going to have a garden in 10 years.
Sure am. I've been doing it for 20 now. I don't think I'm going to stop when I'm 60.
You getting that calcium from 10 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
It's all up in there now.
It's you got all this calcium building up on you. So, Andre, what's your soil secrets? What you be doing out there in your garden?
Well, I'm pretty basic with my soil. I have no problem with getting like commercial bag soil or getting soil in bulk. I like to mix in black cow or mushroom compost into the soil when I'm mixing my soil. But now I really want to start doing more of the mineral mix. I'm going to start doing a lot more this mineral mix, especially for potted things. I'm not really going to do it in my beds, but I think I'm going to do it in all of my potted plants. They're all going to be mineral soil going forward. Now, my plants have only been in mineral soil for about a week now, maybe 2 weeks. So we'll see how it goes. If they all die like in a month, then I'll be like, all right, maybe mineral soil ain't the thing. So we got to see where these plants go before we make a lifetime decision on what we're going to be planting in.
No, I'm going to back you up. I do a lot of the sand and a lot of the mineral base. It's going to work for you. I'm giving you the good juju. It's going to work for you, man.
Now, great. What do you do to like condition your soil to make your soil like even better than it normally is?
So I'm glad you asked. That brings us to our next sponsor, and that's going to be Thrive Roots. Thrive Roots is an Armory listed organic soil and root conditioner. It's also it's a soil conditioner. I'm having trouble with my words. It's a soil conditioner, and it's also a root stimulator. And this is a variety we have called the Berry Blend. So this is what you're going to be wanting to use. Now, you can still use your regular garden as well, but the Berry Blend is specific for your strawberries, your raspberries, your blueberries, even your bananas, because bananas are berries. So Thrive Roots 100% organic and vegan. I wouldn't recommend drinking it though, but it is vegan and OMRI listed, and it smells phenomenal.
Now, can I just say one thing about the Thrive?
Yes.
So I have a place in Mexico and a little garden there, and my plants were really struggling. And I feel like they were getting too much sun, whatever it is. The soil's really rocky down there. And we were planting a lot of ornamental plants. And what was happening was they just kept looking yellow, kept looking burnt, kept looking yellow. And last time I was down there, I took the Thrive and I mixed it up and I sprayed all the plants in that area. And I just got a picture from someone down there that sent me a picture of the plants, and they are looking so healthy right now. I can't wait to see them in person. I'm going down there Friday. I can't wait to see them in person because, like, the plumerias were like struggling. I saw a picture today and they looked amazing. So that stuff works.
There you go. See, and it's all about that root structure. So that's fantastic. Thank you. That's awesome.
Anyone have success with cantaloupe? I've never grown a cantaloupe. Anyone grow cantaloupe?
Once, and I ended up having a great success until I cracked it open and it was rooting on the inside because pickle worm crawled into it, and I took it and hurled it into the woods and cursed the pickle worm and its whole family, and I said, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead." So that's my one time.
Yeah, and that's the thing about gardening, man. You can work so hard and be so proud of something, and in just a flash, it's gone. Just a flash.
Yeah, it happened to one of my Korean melons. I had been waiting on this Korean melon, couldn't wait to break into it, and same thing. Pests bore their way in, and just, it just broke my heart. But and that brings us to our next topic, right? Pests. So, what's some of the ways we can deal with pests? Because there's a variety of different pests. Pests will vary depending on where you're at in the country or in the world, for that matter, what season it is. So what's a blanket statement we could say for pests when it comes to pests?
Well, I think we have to define between sort of like macro pests and micro pests. Right?
Good point.
Because I feel like your mammal and bird pests are a little bit different than your insect pests. Right?
True. And I know you have someone in the comments mentioned that you should dress up as a squirrel for Halloween because you have a strong love for squirrels, don't you?
Actually, in the office, we are doing Addams Family. We're doing Addams Family. I'm Lurch.
I like
Wait
it.
a minute, you're not going to be Gomez?
No, I'm going to be Lurch.
Okay.
Lurch, right? Frankenstein.
That's the butler. You reign. Yes. Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
All pests need to die, says Linnea. Okay, what are your thoughts on Sunshine Mix number 4, aggregate plus for growing organic produce? Are you guys familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with that product. What
Sunshine Mix number 4 is maybe Farfig, I think it is, a Farfad mix, and it is a specific type of mix. It's either Farfad or that other big soil company, I can't remember the name of it, but it is one of the many soil mixes that exist out there, and it's one that's mixed in large quantities by one of the big soil producers. I've used it, I feel like somewhere before, and I cannot remember where, but I don't have a problem with any soil mix, but I typically just mix my own. And this is saying nothing against them, it's just, I have so much soil in this house, I don't need to buy any more. But for those of you who are looking for different mixes, make sure as you buy that mix and you get accustomed to it, that it is something that can work for your garden, your space, and your place.
Yes, that point right there. Because see, that's what I was going to say. When, if we're talking gardening, we're talking like out in raised beds and container garden outdoors, I'm always going to lean more towards my native soils because I grow a lot of native plants, right? Like my Turk's caps and my mealy blue sages and so forth. I love my native, so I don't really like a soil that's going to be imported from somewhere else because, I don't know how my plants are going to do. So I go with something that is made here in Texas. So that's my opinion on the matter. But I mean, if you're doing for like indoor ornamental plants, I mean, that's different because they're not going to be exposed to the elements. They're not going to be exposed to the pests and so forth. But that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts, Andre?
You know, I think it depends on your conditions, like you said. Like if you're in a place that's really rainy or whatever, then you probably want a more well-draining soil. If you're in a drought sort of area, then you want a soil that's going to retain a lot of moisture. So it depends on where you live and what climate zone you're in. But, you know, I think that I'm pretty comfortable with most just regular bagged soil. Like I think sometimes people get too deep into the weeds and they might actually be spending a lot of money for a soil that's not ideal for where they even are. So.
Okay. Over on YouTube, Ryan says, I top my raised beds with Fox Farm, Happy Frog, and my seedlings have really taken off. My broccoli, collards, and cabbages are looking good. Well, and hey, and congratulations. You know, I've heard, you know, different people have different results. And because I know Epic Gardening, they use a lot of Fox Farm as well. But I'm going to tell you this, okay? Because, you know, I'm very honest with you guys. That's outside of my my price point because I grow a lot. I cannot afford that. My wife I would get a divorce if I told her I was going to spend $20 on a bag of soil. She would say, what? Not in this house. So, you know.
Immediate papers drawn up.
Yes. So, I mean, that's just me, though. So, I mean, but if it's in your, and that's one beautiful thing about gardening. Everybody's budget is different. So do what works best for you. So, hey, you having success with it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, and the mineral soil, like you can buy mineral soil. There's one called, I can't remember, it's Something's Mix. And I saw it on Amazon. It's $35 for a bag of soil. I'm like, that's a lot. I'm definitely making my own. I'm not paying $35 for a bag of soil. Like, it's not even like a big bag. I think it's like a 10-pound bag or something like that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, my friend Bean Chicken Taco Coco. Sorry, that's my friend. Got to give him a shout out. I don't know why I'm giving a shout out to all my friends. I'm just so happy everybody's here. I'm really excited today.
I mean, we should be super excited. We got a lot of people with us today, so we are growing.
We are definitely growing. Now, if it's not too late, I want to mention one other thing. Our final sponsor for the night.
I don't think it's too late. Go ahead.
My final sponsor for the night is me, Andre the Farmer's Sweet and Spicy Pepper Sauce. Check it out. It's all natural. I made this in my kitchen. I'm trying to figure out how it's all backwards. Yeah. It's made with 8 different fruits and vegetables. It's amazing. It's delicious. And it's all natural. And it goes with everything. It turns good food great. So check it out. You can get it on Amazon. And you can get it on my website at andrethefarmer.com. Check it out. I guarantee you're going to love it. All right?
You know, Andre, that just reminded me. Because you guys, I don't know if you guys realize how famous Andre is. He's actually got his own theme music now.
Really?
Yes, you haven't heard your own theme music. Like Andre the Farmer, you heard about him.
Oh!
Hey, I loved it, dude. You need to have him do a commercial for your pepper sauce.
You know what? I need to ship him some pepper sauce.
There you go.
That's what we need to do. I need to ship him some pepper sauce. I think, you know what? That's a great idea. When he was acting like he was hey, have you guys seen my corn video? You guys seen my corn? The special corn?
Corn was funny. You had me too, because I was sitting there like, man, what this corn gonna look like? For the pepper sauce, I was like, that's brilliant. Kitchen and Gardening, Living with Shay says when he acted like he was catching a huge fish and pulled out the pepper sauce, I wanted to fight him.
You know, that's probably because you haven't seen the rest of the commercials. Like, yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them snuck in there in between the videos. But yeah. Organic is the way to go. Let's be healthy. Kind of. Let's see. Very interested how for your fruit to hold the nutritional value you want the soil itself to have. Listen, this is where I sort of zig where a lot of people zag. You're eating fruit. Don't worry about how nutritionally dense the fruit is, right? If your apple is only 90% nutritionally dense as another one, eat 10% more apples. Like you're already winning. If you're eating, there are no bad fruits or bad vegetables. You don't have to eat the most nutritionally dense apple to eat an apple. Like people are worried about the wrong things. So,
yeah. You know, it's funny because, all right, when I was a school teacher, this is a conversation I used to have with my students all the time. Because it's like, Mr. Brown, you're vegetarian, but what about your kids? I'm like, yeah, they're vegetarian too. Oh, I'm pescatarian. My kids are true vegetarians. Like, what? How can you do that to your kids? They're like, well, kids, when they're born, are naturally vegetarian. We have to force them to eat meat. I was like, and my daughter eats green beans like they're corn. I mean, like a candy. What do you say? Andre, you make it sound. You make it sound.
well, the first thing they drink is milk, right? Like they're not vegetarian initially. They're
True. But you know what I'm saying. When we start to get to the table foods, man, because it's mashed up peas and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, and there's nothing wrong, man. Don't anyone come down and like, oh, how dare you talk about eating meat? There's nothing wrong with eating meat. You eat what you enjoy.
Right.
There's nothing wrong. But when it comes to, like the nutrition my kids get, I'm not looking at the green beans to make sure that they're the most nutritious green beans that they've ever eaten in their entire life. Because guess what? They eat green beans like at least 3 times out of the week, and then it's peas. You know what I mean? So they're still getting that nutrition. You know what I mean? I think what my favorite phrase of Andre's, say it for me, please. What are we doing with the lemon?
We're squeezing the lemon too hard. Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. If you're worrying about how much your maximum nutrition from the fruit that you grew, then you're squeezing the lemon way too hard. Way too hard.
Well, I love it. I'm definitely gonna steal that one. So I love this. I love this. I only had a question on YouTube, but I can't really see it. Let me see. Did we get all of them?
Wish you guys were able to grow breadfruit out there. Well, I do have a breadfruit in my office that is growing indoors. It can't survive the cold in Orlando, and it can't survive the cold in any other places where these guys live. South Florida is really the only place in America that you can really grow, in continental USA that you can really grow breadfruit.
And we have this person on YouTube who's agreeing with us. Some people get lost in gardening and they can't see the forest for the trees. And I know we want to get good food out there, and there are so many people who are telling you all types of bull swanky. I hate to use some cussing up. Well, they're using all types of bull swanky. Okay, I will say it. All this doohickey nonsense, they are using it to lie to you about plants, and I can't take it anymore.
Yeah. And some of them are crazy popular, and it hurts my heart because I see videos sometimes of people just doing things, and they don't show you the result, right? Like they just do things, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and people are like, "There's like 10,000 likes." I'm like, really? Like that plant's dead in a week. Like I'm like
it's dead after 5 minutes of them seeing it, but they don't care. Heat Life asks, is it a good time to plant asparagus? It depends on where you are. I feel like this is asparagus season, but I tried it once. I think I tried it once and I failed. So what do y'all got to say about that?
He's in Miami. Miami's a hard place to grow asparagus because it's hot. Like I'm in Orlando and I have asparagus growing, but it's not a high production thing. And you have to really wait about 3 or 4 years before you can start harvesting it. So you got to be really patient with it. It's not an easy thing to grow, and especially in the South, you just don't get the cold that you need for it to really be very productive. So I have a bed with it in there, but doesn't really do like that.
Okay, cool.
What do you think?
Good point. Yeah. No, I was gonna say, you hit it. Yeah, good point. And plus, it's one of those hurry up and wait crops. Like your grapes. You're taking 3 to 4 years for that plant to really establish itself. It's really going to send out, all those shoots and everything. So it's going to take a while. And you're right. When it comes, you got to have the right amount of cold hours for it to be able to really start producing. And you got to constantly maintain it and baby it the whole time. So it just depends. I mean, I like asparagus, but I'll go buy my asparagus from the store. I'll go to a farmer's market for asparagus because honestly, I'm an ADHD gardener and I do have a short attention span, but those are one of those things. That's when you have to weigh your options. Like, is it worth it for me? I'll grow my grapes for 3 years, 4 years, sure. But when it comes to asparagus, like I'm not going to waste my valuable real estate on those asparagus. I'll just go buy them from the store.
Right. I think if you live in a cooler climate or temperate climate, it is a set it and forget it crop. Like it is the kind of thing you could put in an area that you don't really care about or don't really want to spend time around, and just put it there and just forget about it. And then, in a few years, and once it's growing and it's established, it will be growing forever. Like every year you'll just have asparagus popping up. But for me, it's just getting the 1 or 2 asparagus a month sticks. Like, I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Like, I'm gonna cook one asparagus tonight for dinner. Yeah, it's just not really worth it.
Our friend Cheryl on YouTube said she just made some grape jelly out of her grapes. Hey, congratulations. That's a win right there.
All right.
I love that win.
With second-year grapes. Good job, Cheryl.
Nice.
Anyways, guys, that is our time for tonight. Guys, any parting words?
It has been fantastic speaking with you guys. Keep bringing this energy. We love answering your questions. We love interacting with you. I really don't think there's any podcast out there that actually does this much fan participation. So you guys keep coming with those questions. Bring them. Hey, challenge us. Test us. We love it. We adore it.
Derek.
Challenge and test him. I don't love it. I don't adore it. Ask him all the questions, and I will sit back and just be like, yes, take them. But y'all keep growing, keep going, and we'll go from there.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate all of you guys. We're trying to grow this show and get it as big as possible. But we will not be here next week. We are taking a break next week. Everyone's going to be kind of out of town doing stuff. But we will be back the following week, where you can DM any one of us with any of your gardening questions throughout the week. We're all available for you. So have a great week, guys, and we will see you in 2 weeks. All right? Take care, guys.
2 weeks.
Bye.
See you.